Oh shit! I started with the wrong intro tune there. What should we do if you want to try and get your portfolio right? Buying the dip is going to be of critical importance for us and for the alts. I want to share a few things with you guys here today. First things first, if you want to buy the dip, you need to understand what Bitcoin does, because it's our biggest indicator out there, our strongest indicator out there. My name is Rudo, full-time trader, and yeah, well, that's about that. That's about my whole story. Should I take you to the promised land? Nelson, I don't think I am that good of a trader, though, so apologies. I won't be taking you to the promised land. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking for some really good risk-adjusted, entries for you guys. So if you're new to the channel, it's your first time stumbling onto us, and you're still watching, send me a message. I'd like to give you a shout out. We do these live. And if you're watching later on, send me a message. In any case, I do reply to each and every comment. I do like to chat with you guys. Okay, so let's get into this now. Bitcoin in the short. We've been riding this yo-yo wave really well. We've gone through the thou shalt not cross lines, and we shorted the top. We went to the bottom, we bought the bottom, and I gave you the alternative, oops, shit is not looking good, buy zone, which we bought nicely. And currently, we've broken that trend. So if you're a typical, I got a little bit of hate mail again. Our bull market's almost here on Twitter today. I got a little bit of hate mail where somebody said, yeah, you typical crypto Twitter tweeters showing breakout trends and calling it bull market. And I immediately decided to say, oh, bull market's on its way, because at some stage those haters come out of nowhere. They just hate you. I don't know why they hate me. It's not like we losing miserably here, but in any case, that's a good sign. But in any case, they were talking about these breakouts, and the reality is, guys, a simple analysis like a line and price above a line is just as valid as a complex Gantt system, because we all know what it is. It's just risk adjusted. That's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to measure risk. That's what technical analysis is. So the rest of you guys, as you get in, thanks for joining. I see there's hello from India, buddy. Happy Tuesday. Yes, happy Tuesday it is. And then Mr. Firestorm. Well, I hope it's a Mr. Firestorm. The odds is realistically that it will be a Mr. I think I've got like 2% female viewers according to YouTube stats. So it's probably a Mr. Firestorm. Arpit, thank you very much, my friend. Okay, I love you guys too. Okay, so let's share some more technicals. So in short, this is where we're at now. Price is going to move back down. The big warning that I said to you guys yesterday was that if Bitcoin goes and does what? Not go above that high and locks in hidden bearish divergence. Shit could be bad, because it's a continuation of the current trend. And as you know, on the daily time frame, trend is down. Basically the best way to show it is when we look at the CME gap, But what happened is we didn't lock in a hidden bearish divergence. So price didn't stay high enough for long enough on the daily time frame for the RSI to close above this pivot over here. Remember, at this point, if I make this RSI bigger, this is still Bitcoin, just a different chart. At this point, it's going to move up and down, as this candle still needs to close. So if this candle goes probably back to 65, it's a possibility that then sits there. And then all of a sudden, you've got hidden bearish divergence. So unless that candle moves past this high, so what I normally do is I say, though, we need a higher high line and an alert. If this candle goes above that, irrelevant of where this divergence or this RSI point then closes, because then there's no warning for any divergence. So we're not out of the woods yet, which brings me back to the original tile, which could be construed as a little bit of clickbait. Dip again. But the reality is that there's a possibility for this dip, because what do we have? Let's take away the RSI and let's look at this from a most simplistic view. We're trending down, guys. We're still trending down. So we're celebrating an amazing buy, but we're still trending down. And unless something happens that changes that in the form of a pump, you need to understand that all our great buys are going to get tested, and there's a potential that price can go lower still. So that's a big risk, which brings to the reason why the stream got a few coins that if they go lower still, you need to gobble up because there's some really good discounts and they've got some really good long-term, pumpamentals coming their way. So yeah, there you have it. Let's go to the comments real quick. Let's see what we have here. Please tell me, please, BTC is coming down. Look, I think, and this is a thought as well, and bear with me real quick, Al. When we look at Bitcoin in this, I think this is still the area. I think that Bitcoin's still going to bounce at around 60,500. Okay. Why? Well, simple. If you think about this, we tried to avoid the hidden bullish divergence, but the RSI is stuck there. So what does price need to do to prevent a divergence getting printed? Well, it needs to go down again to reset that RSI. And guess what? Then there's a more manageable or more easier achievable higher high coming our way, which means it does this, then makes a higher high in that sense. And immediately traders will look at this and say, hey, there's an uptrend. Now, for the sake of transparency, I tend to leave all my artworks on top of the screen on the charts, which sometimes can be a little confusing. So let's do the same chat here on the daily time frame so that at least it's a little cleaner screen. So if you think of it like this, take away the RSI real quick, and I'm going to draw in the RSI as it is. So it's just like that. So you can see that we don't have any hidden bullish divergence, but the RSI is very tight, close to it. Okay. So if price goes down again, RSI will come down again, but then price can go make a higher high and the RSI will also have made a higher high. Then that bearish notion or the fuel that might fire the bears up again has been taken away from them. And that's what I see is going to happen in price. You see this when trends, my English again today, trends change on smaller time frames. You see this a lot. That's why I always say, if you really want to become successful at investing, do yourself a solid and learn to trade a 5-minute or 1 minute, because there's so much chaos there that at some stage you're going to understand that how the market can take your best laid plans and throw them upside down and then go and do what you wanted it to do in the beginning. Hence the fact that we do get these amazing calls on a higher time frame, right? For that reason. Okay, so there you have it. So BTC has this potential. Let's go back to the daily. Has this potential to go test the previous ranges. So best efforts, 60,000 thereabout. I've got a hidden demand zone kind of marked out there for you guys. So go and have a look at that. Expect that. Okay. And in doing so, this is where the alt bargain is going to come in. Because the dominance is still trending up. Remember what we said with any divergence. Be it now on Bitcoin, be it on an altcoin, be it on the dominance. Strong bearish divergence, which is construed as a reversal divergence. Okay. Is only a bearish signal if we lose the initiating pivot, which means if this is price making its higher high, you can see there on my screen, the cursor following it, and price falls below the previous high, then you really take this serious. Other than that, it's a bullish signal because it's telling you that the bears have got nothing for the bulls. They're just buying it up and pushing the price up. So if that's the way we're going to look at this, when we look at the dominance now, what do we have? We've got that same divergence. So let's switch us to the line tool to make it nice and clean. And let's maybe, I don't feel like pink anymore. Let's make this white real quick. So it's just a little cleaner and crisper, maybe a little more professional looking. Okay, so when we look at this, I don't want to lose that line. I just wanted to take away the squibble, a little bit of the old artwork there. So when you look at the RSI, you can see that the divergence is there. Check. Thank you very much. All is good. So this line is set to closing price. And you can see that we're staying above that initiating pivot. This means this thing is still bullish, no matter how you want to turn and twist it. Now, if this is still bullish and Bitcoin comes down, it means that the alts are weaker than Bitcoin. So negative sentiment, Bitcoin going down is negative. So a negative sentiment within the entire market Bitcoin controls 55% of the entire market. Means that your alts will dump again. And because they're weak and because they are not doing well, there's more fear, more uncertainty, which will probably mean that the dominance will spike up and make yet another higher high with potentially another lower high on the RSI, giving us another strong bearish divergence. And it will also mean that the alts could maybe go and make a lower low. And that's the risk that we need to kind of devolve or, expand a little bit today. They might make another lower low as Bitcoin does not make another lower low, or while Bitcoin doesn't make another lower low. Does this make sense? Let me know in the comments. There's about 225 people live at the moment through all the various platforms. Just send me a yes, please. Let's see if I can get 225 yeses in the chat. So just know that you're on the same page. I don't want to scare you out of good buys. I don't want to scare you out of good positions. And I don't want to spread bullshit. But you need to understand that that's the risk you need to take. So if you can handle that and you can stomach the lower low in most cases with some alts, then you should be golden. Let's see. The yeses are coming. So thanks so much. Thanks. Okay, guys. So let's have a look at those alts. That's going to dip a little bit lower. So here's something interesting. Ethereum turns inflationary as fees remain at record lows. So ETH went from proof of work, I think from proof of stake to proof of work to proof of stake. And long story short, this is negative because now ETH is exactly like Bitcoin. More ETH gets released, and that means that the ETH inflationary means the additional ETH is going to suppress the price action. So it means that Ethereum could potentially make a lower low. Now, we were excited about Ethereum on the weekly time frame. Why was that? Let's quickly have a look at this. So Ethereum on the weekly time frame, the RSI is already trending lower. Great. And price is clearly trending higher, even better. And take note, just as a kind reminder to those that are new, this is where we first bought Ethereum. This is where we first sold Ethereum. Then we bought it back there. Then we sold it again there. So we've been playing Ethereum amazing, and we bought Ethereum on the bottom of these weeks. So we've had a good run with Ethereum at this stage. Okay. Now we're sitting in a situation that our current buys are getting challenged. And why am I bullish if I think they're going to get challenged still? Simple. Because hidden bullish divergence means that this thing can dump lower still until price goes below this point, which means there's still an additional 30% discount, and it's still bullish by technical analysis standards. Can you handle that? I surely can't. So there needs to be an invalidation level now set aside so that if we go lower, we know what to do. That's what I'm trying to share with you guys. Okay, so let's take away all the squibbles. Let's take Ethereum to the daily, and let's analyze this chart a little bit further. So let's forget about that week, or ignore the weekly line. So what do we have on the RSI at the moment? We've had this, which was really positive for me. Daily time frame, low, lower, low. So there's the thou shall not cross line from a bearish point of view. Rallied a little bit, and then it went and made a lower low. So strong bullish divergence, strong bullish divergence. But it has not changed any trend. So you need to think on this and say to yourself that there's a momentum there. And I can draw 10,000 lines. None of them will be right nor wrong, because remember, this is just showing you momentum. It's just a different way of showing you a moving average. The momentum is down at the moment. Okay. So with this being said, strong bullish divergence is good, but we don't want to see this thing head into a scenario where it goes lower again. Or do we? See, it's still bullish, but what do we want to do? We want to determine how bad it can go down before we really need to think and plan for a big move, the move all the way down, that 30% move. And the tool that I use for that is the Gann tool. So I take it from the previous high to the low, meaning that price can remain bullish for me in this zone. This is how we identified this Bitcoin buy in that zone there. Out of nowhere, Smack in the middle there. That's this Bitcoin buy. Okay. Remember, teach a man to fish channel. I'm not trying to hide shit from you. Okay. If I wanted to hide shit from you, I would just have a paid group and charge people enormous amounts of money and send them cryptical charts. I show you exactly how I get it. That's how we got that buy zone. So I'm using that same analysis, saying, okay, we've rallied. Shit's not looking great at the moment. So we were happy, we're excited, but it's no longer that. So if this is the case, what needs to happen? Price probably needs to fall in below that. And here's the catch. This is the sad catch, okay? Invalidation for any pullback or any lower low is still going to be $2,470. So it's a quarter level, $2,500 thereabout. So you need to go and do the math for your Ethereum and say, where I'm at now, am I in a good enough position to say my 50% of the wick buy that we got there around $3,000, okay, I'm about $120 in profit per Ethereum. It's not a lot of money. Am I going to stop out at break even and buy again at 2,700, meaning giving myself potentially another 6% discount? Or am I going to hold this thing, become a hodler, and just hold this thing? But knowing fair well that if it crosses that line, I can be in for more. It's up to you to decide. I cannot do that, just take that decision for you. All I can say to you guys is where we're at now, my stops are break even. If this happens, that I get stopped out, I will have limit orders within this range. The argument is that at that stage, the RSI should not make a lower low as well. If the RSI does make a lower low, does this, then this is probably going to go in and crash that low. So we'll be back again tomorrow and the day from now. And we'll always look at these charts now, always available, and we can define how the risk is. But the fact that Ethereum has a little bit of bad news behind it, okay, the fact that it's a little bit of bad news, and the fact that the price has failed to make a higher high, but not made hidden bearish divergence, means that we're trending down, but the bears are weak. And maybe we need a little bit of a shakeout because the market is too bullish, too quickly, too easily. Maybe we need that little shakeout just to actually ignite the bull fires. And this can still take some time. Makes sense. Okay. If you want the levels, head over to the Discord, guys. Everything is in there. I share it there. Fellow community members has it there as well. And you can always go and get it there. Links in the video description. Let's see what else do we have. Next coin, Solana. Now, Solana is about to do the opposite, hopefully. Solana has, because of its success, no divergence at the moment from a bullish point of view or from a bearish point of view. From a bearish point of view, not from a bullish point of view. And this makes for an interesting chart. If I do this, you can see there that price is still below the original last sell-off. So I'm going to mark this out. I'm going to show you this. This is an interesting thing. And it actually a question that was asked through one of the members this morning in the Discord. And it makes really good sense that we address that. So if you look at this from an RSI and price action point of view, let's do this. Hidden strong bullish, hidden bearish. Okay. So what is this doing is we've got hidden bearish divergence at the high point, and we've got strong bullish divergence at the low point. Lower low in price, higher high in RSI, high low, and lower high in price, higher high on the RSI for the bearish version. So now there's a big question. Okay? Because which one do I not trust? The reality is what you need to do is you need to bet on the bears. Don't bet on the bulls. Why? This is a reversal divergence. It's trying to turn the tide, but it's not a confirmed reversal. We never have a confirmed version of this. It doesn't exist. But what this is a continuation divergence. It tells you that what is happening is still happening. Now, there's an old rule with trading. It says always trade in harmony with the trend. So the trend is down on the daily. Simple. You can clearly see that. We don't need a lot of skill to see that this thing's going down. And if I were to just move that candle away, immediately you would say, yes, this is bearish. So we bought when it was bearish. We bought the right time. So and I'm telling you guys, it looks bullish right at where it is at now. Great. But stop to break even. You're done carrying any risk on this. Because if this divergence kicks in and price turns down again, we run the same risk. We run the same risk that what happens? It's going to go down to 113. And maybe just shake the shit out of everybody, scare this thing into some proper fearful zones, because we need a fearful market. We need disbelief, guys, and hope. We're not there. People are, they're believing we're there again. They're back into these positive emotions. None of them are feeling like that. It's like Twitter was like this one day, crypto Twitter was like this, and then the other day it was something different. And that bothers me. I've got an uneasy feeling in me because of that. So plan for this. You know the drill now. Okay. Same for AVAX. So we're looking at AVAX, the same thing. It's doing exactly the same thing. And I've got an additional target sitting there for AVAX, maybe $25. So consider that scenario. If we are, and you can see it is already showing signs that that divergence is kicking in, AVAX is going to want to try and go lower, surprise the shit out of the market. And if it does that, you need to be able to hold or understand what is happening and have your valid invalidation level for that. Okay, so just take note of that. So AVAX go below $21. I mean, that's a lot of pullback from where it's at now, 40. So it's a lot of percentages out of your wallet. So if you cannot stomach this, you need to reduce your position size so that you can afford to stomach this. Remember, the simplest way if you want to reduce a position. So I've got $100 in AVAX and it goes down 50%. I'll have $50. Okay. But if I got $100 now in AVAX and I sell half and it goes down 50%, I've got $75 still worth of AVAX if I buy back at that discount. 25% risk as a 50% risk. And all I've done is I've just reduced my exposure. That's an easy math to do. So all you need to do is go and have a look at what you've got cooking and which coins you've got them. And if you're sitting in a situation where you do this measurement, you say, oh shit, 50%, I cannot stomach this. Reduce till there's an amount that you can and have limit orders at the bottom because that's how you farm more. Okay. There you have it. Do we get cheaper Sol? Yes, there's a potential for that. Dennis, maybe if you're watching on the live, maybe rewind a little bit, get the full picture. I did set it out quite nicely, I think. Okay, $113 for Solana does sound nice to a lot of people. Okay, now there's something else that I want to share with you guys. Let's quickly move down and where is it? I've now updated my list and I moved everything around. So much so that I am lost looking at my own list. So I just need to quickly find this, guys. And I collapsed everything before we went live. There it is, Sui. Now, Sui's got a problem as well. I've got 2 buy zones. Listen to the crazy. Okay. I apologize for this, but that's the risk. Okay, so I brought Sui to you guys around there. We had an amazing run. We hit our TP at $2. It's all been nice. And in that instance, there was a TP. We got the buy zone and we got a second chance at this. And then I said, well, we're above that line. You can potentially think bigger. So we had higher targets for Sui, but then Bitcoin changed its mind. The market sentiment switched around. And that's the true lesson. That just because you say it's going to happen doesn't mean that it will, because time is our enemy as well. It changes the trend. Okay. And from that point onwards, we sold back down. Okay. So now Sui is in the long-term rebuy zone. So everybody that's holding their Sui at this moment should still be kind of okay, because you're probably in small drawdown, roughly in break even, whatever the case might be. But here's the problem with Sui now. Okay. Sui now just under scrutiny because of their supply. And if the market turns bearish, this kind of news that will push price down. Now, did they do it? Have they not done it? I'm not a debunker of news and FUD. There's channels for that and guys for that. So go check that out. But What I do see here is that there's some discount on the charts available for us. Okay, so there's two ways we can look at this. If I take this to a weekly time frame, you can see that SUI is what? It's up there. Where's the last big pivot that we had? It's over there. So price is above the original pivot. Okay, if you can't see it, what I mean by that, let's go over to the closing price, because wicks, when it comes to this, can confuse you. Whenever you look for divergence, switch to the line tool, because divergence in any case gets calculated by the RSI, and the RSI by any case gets calculated at closing times. So makes it simple. No? So if we look at this, what do we have? We've got a higher high in price or a higher low in price. And that is what we need for hidden bullish divergence. And that needs to be supported, obviously, by a lower low in the RSI. So everything is there to tell me on the weekly time frame, this thing is still good. Okay. Now, the problem, though, is with the bad news, we might have a situation where we sweep that. But the end of the week is, what, 4 or 5 days away, 5 days away, which means we can sweep all the way down to these levels and still close bullish. Remember Bitcoin? Went all the way down there, and it felt like horrible when we were at 56. And look at where it closed, 58 at the top of our and mid our buy zone. And then the next day, you're sitting at 62. And all of a sudden, what was, were no longer. That's how quick price can move. So you're sitting in a situation where this could potentially happen. Now, if it doesn't make sense, or it seems like I'm talking shit, that's okay. I've seen this play out many times on smaller time frames. You go trade them, you're going to see them for yourselves as well. This means that SUI on the daily time frame has got a lot of selling pressure. And you can see that there's absolutely nothing bullish about SUI at the moment. But if we do go make that lower low, because the RSI is so overextended and the RSI here is high, but price is very close to that closing price, you can see that it's not going to take a lot of money or a lot of selling pressure for SUI to do this. Go to 50% of the wick. Now, I love 50% of the wick buys, guys. You get them all over the show. 50% of the wick buys, probably the most lucrative thing that you can come up with, okay? And it's always followed with some sort of a form of a divergence, be it tops, be it bottoms. If you know when to apply them, 50% of the wick is your best friend. So now I'm saying first buy zone, 50% of the wick. But here's the catch. And I'm sorry if this feels like I'm talking forever on the subject. Where would you put your stop? Right there, okay? But here's the problem. If this is going to create proper strong bullish divergence, okay, we have a situation now where the GAN is telling me that we could fall into this range and still be bullish. And that is where I'm getting stopped out. And then price goes a little bit lower, and it goes into probably an institutional or a shakeout buy zone, and then pumps. And now I'm left holding my stable and nothing to do with it. I don't want to be left out. I don't want to be, selling the bottom like an idiot. And I need to understand that this could potentially happen. So this is the second alternative to this. So you need to plan for this. Grab it there, but you also need to understand that there's another lower low. And then from that point onwards, think about this. Big things can happen. This is still very new. We can easily go another 400-500% on the next one. Okay. Simple as that. There you have it, guys. That's basically everything that I wanted to share for you guys, or share with you guys today regarding coins. Something that's maybe picking up as well. Let me just quickly see where I hit that from myself. I'm going to get it now. Don't worry. Any second now. It seems like I'm not going to get it. Where did I move this thing to? I think I moved it under this. There we go. Is SEA. Okay. Same thing here, guys. Okay. Right. We bought this thing down here. We wrote this thing up. First divergence, like I said to you guys, use it as a bullish thing because it's bullish. Okay. So when the first bearish divergence kicked in, we bought there as well. And we realized our TP beautifully. Happy days. Price fell back down low, and there's the wick. And we tested it once. If you didn't grab the buy there, that's okay. I explained to you guys that price will potentially come back down. Now, this one has a scenario where if the eventuality happens with Bitcoin coming back down to at least the 60,500 level, you're going to run the situation where this one's probably going to tag that buy zone 45 cents. This is a must-have in your HODL portfolio. Okay. Weekly timeframes, what does this mean? There is our hidden bullish divergence first pivot. So it means that anything between here and there needs to be considered amazing discounts. And the fact that this thing has sold off so violently already makes me believe that it's maybe almost exhausted. So it's worth taking that risk there. Simple as that. Okay. Once this thing takes fuel and fire, remember, it's the biggest risk taker that gets the most reward. You just need to understand where to define the limits of your risk. Don't blindly just buy. That's where you don't want to be holding this thing for any longer. So can I afford this amount of drawdown, 60%? If you cannot, if you were going to buy with $1,000 today, rather buy with $250, okay? Because guess what? Once this thing pumps and it starts trending, I'll probably put the rest in there at a little bit of a higher price. But because I got this insane discount, at that stage, I'm already smiling. Best case scenario, think of BONK. We bought there, we sold there, we bought there, it's running. Simple as that. Okay, guys. So that's how we need to navigate this. You need to play both sides of the market. Learn to cheat the shit, and then you'll be okay. Sahid, render is looking amazing. I'm going to have a look at render for you. And while we're at this, Sahid's asking you guys to smash those likes. So please do smash those likes for me, guys. Let's have a look at render. So buy zone tagged twicely. Twice now. Twicely. What bloody word is that? Buy zone tagged twice now. And so you should be sitting with some nice profit at this time, my friend, because you're already up like 50%. The thing about big, fast moves like this is if it's fast, it won't last, okay? And that's why, because it's getting overweighted to one side. One side is winning too much, okay? So what's going to happen now is when we look at this price action, if we scale this up to the weekly time frame, which is important, what do we have? We've got a coin that its first bearish or its first pivot in the RSI was there, but there was the other pivot. So now what is happening is you can see, look at how low that RSI is. It's dragging its feet, and this thing is running up. So where do we take profit on this one? Take that bottom to that high. There you go. There's your sell zone. So in the midst of everything happening now, I won't get out of this thing until we reach at least $14, $15. That's a great deal. You bought it at $7, goes to $15. Sell some. Remember, bull markets are littered with happy, sad people that never realize their profit potential. Because after that scenario, guess what happens? We will probably have strong bearish divergence, and then there will be a thou shall not cross line, and then you can always buy back that 17% discount that's going to come there should the market at that stage turn hyper bullish and we have more. Simple as that. Now, you can use the same technical analysis tricks. If you think that maybe this is the top and we're going to drop lower, all you need to do is dive into lower time frames. But it means that if I say it's bullish now and it's bearish in 2 hours from now, you're going to be angry at me. Just doesn't, the scale and time for YouTube stream for this type of in-depth analysis just doesn't make sense. But you can't do it on 20, 30, 50 coins. So keep it simple. Wait for your TP. And there you go, Saeed. Right. Very late, but I'm here. Hello, Vitali. Thanks for joining in today. Guys, I think that's everything for today. Let's have a look at Peter's question. He says, I'm confused. I used to hold FLUX, but sold at a loss as it is a rubbish project. But a few people that I know tell me that I'm okay. What the fuck? Can you please look at it and see? Okay. Peter, never hate it, never love it, never date it, just trade it. Okay. When it comes to what we're doing here, we're lking at HODL timeframes. But you should never form an opinion over whether it's a good or a bad project, because that can sometimes trap you into, when a good project with good fundamentals, a brilliantly doxed team and everything goes on pumping. Well, what's the point of selling? This thing is just going to go up forever. And then immediately it's your narrative. Remember yesterday's mindset section. Then your perception and your perspective of this sets a reality that basically blinds you to the obvious bearish divergence at the height of a bull market. Like every other person gets trapped at the height of a bull market. It's so obvious now. Why? Because none of that greedy motion is there. Look at the divergence on divergence on divergence on divergence. Okay? Look at that. Boom, boom. Stayed above the thou shalt not cross line. Great. Boom, boom. Oh shit. All right. Boom, boom. Get the hell out. Confirmation. Boom. And then you scale it up monthly time frame. And all of a sudden, you'll see that there's divergence between the two higher highs. Let's just load it again. And nobody, for the love of me, saw it at that stage or believed that it could be the end. Okay? Because we hell-bent on the next target. Give me the next big trade profit. So to get back to where you're at with FLUX, what is maybe a shit project for you at the moment can be an amazing risk-adjusted project for me purely because of that. Now, let's have a look at it. This is where you had to sell. I think you probably asked me about this when we charted this, and I explained to you guys that if you lose a 23.6, it's probably going to go lower, okay? And right at the point where you may be going to feel like it's a piece of shit and you messed up, you've paid. You basically look at it like this. You're trading for a living, or you're trading to eventually trade for a living and investing to eventually invest for a living. So if you realize a loss, it's just a business expense. You're not going to close your company if you got a massive telephone bill in the end of the month that surprised you. I'm not going to say my company is bullshit because of the bill. You just paid another bill and just move on. Just move on. Okay? Simple as that. But if you look at this thing with clean eyes, without any judgment, resentment, or anything because of what it did to your portfolio. Okay? Simple fact is, it's a sell right now because there's hidden bearish divergence. There's too much bears at the moment, not enough bulls at the moment. This price is beautiful, but it's probably going to hit some sort of a level. And there's strong bullish divergence at the moment, telling you that it wants to turn its tide. So you have the potential that it's going to bounce there at 86, meaning it's going to turn what was support, merely lost back at support, or it's going to do this. It's going to screw with everybody and probably go down to 77 cents. Now, if you're biased and you hate this, you would want to see this. So you might not want to buy that. Can you see? That's how it is. That's how our mind can mess us up. Now, if you want to buy this and it goes to that 50% of the wick, which it was going to do there, and it tests this level and it rallies up to at least where this gap is, there's going to be some new selling pressure entering the market right there. You could have made all your money back probably, because at that stage you're so close to the top. But now you were angry and pissed off and. Okay. And you might be that FLUX pisses you off, but you take it out on comp. Because now this one needs to make me the money. That's what the alts does. You know, I don't trade SXP. I don't touch it. Simple as that. Nothing wrong with the thing. I just don't touch it because it hurt me. So we all have our prejudices, and, laughing at it, making peace with it, and moving past it is probably also a necessary thing. Right. Guys, today's video is brought to you by Prime. I want to just quickly remind you, get your own Prime account. All you need to do is the links in the video description. Head over to the Discord. Link is in there. If you want to have access to everything I do in the Discord, all the analysis and the additional stuff that we do, coins and so forth, all you need to do is just go there and get the free trial by Prime. So you're going to go to the navigation button. I set it up so that it almost works like a website. You can go back and move around. So it's very user-friendly. Okay, you go to the free trial, open your account, use that link, deposit, and then come and claim it. Click on it, claim it. Send me your user ID. Okay, if that is done, it's going to create a free private channel, so nobody's going to see you talking to me. And for all is done, I can give you a coupon and you can join in with everybody else. Okay, latest trading watch list has been dropped, my positioning, how I'm looking at everything, and you can go and get that there. Simple as that. Right. Anna, thanks for joining. Peter, happy to have you here as always. Can you see ZIG? Can I have a look at ZIG? I can probably, Peter, do I have time? Let's see, Peter. Peter says, yes, I still have a little bit of time. So ZIG, let's maybe, I don't know what it is. I'm interested to find out what it is. Okay, it's moving nicely. Okay, very nicely. Now, what's the rule here, guys? Accumulation, effort versus result, Wyckoff rules. Now, if you look at this RSI, it's beautiful. It's making higher highs, volumes going as prices going. No reason to panic on this thing. What is key here? Price needs to stay above the 23.6. Now, it's already went back down below that. There was your open close below it. So then you buy the golden zone anywhere there. That becomes your buy zone. So it's adhered to all the rules. Everything, as I say always, it's just the market always looks different, but it's always kind of the same. It always repeats itself. So there's your trend line. Everything is good. But now the success with this thing is going to run it into some bearish divergence. So you're getting close to the top. You need to prepare yourself mentally to sell something that's been treating you amazingly. And where you're going to try and sell this is there. You're going to use your Garn tool and you're going to say, okay, right. If we get there, let's mark it as a sell zone. If we get there and the RSI stays below this, that's a sell zone. And the most important thing is you can sell there and you can buy back at this price point. So you want to see this, wherever this goes, sell, buy when it comes here. Why? Because this still remains bullish unless we start trading below that again. And normally at that stage, your fib will have been moved up and you will find that that 23.6 is either going to be lined up with this point or higher, which means it probably won't even go and test that point. But if it goes up and it does this, breaks that red line, you just buy right back where you sold and you're going to hold for more because it will probably give you a higher high. You can be patient for a little bit longer. And if I'm right and it sells off, where are you going to buy back again? This. Okay. Why? Because look at where price was. Big pump. Now it needs to go and find support. Make sure that this is all good. And then it goes on further. Hope that helps, my friend. Let's see what else we do. Let's quickly go through your comments. I think that's that. Let's end it. Let's end it there. Guys, have a lovely day. You know what to do. Get yourself there. Get that Prime. Get it funded. Come trade with me. Come chart with me. Come enjoy this with me. It has to be fun. If it's not fun, you're not doing it right. And we'll be back maybe tomorrow, definitely on Thursday. So make sure to share the content, help grow the community. This will never be trending because I'm not giving you easies. I'm giving you risk-adjusted technical analysis. And it means that it takes a unique individual like you to enjoy it, but it also takes a serious individual like you to know that I need to manage my risk in order to walk away from this bull market successful, which you will. There you have it, guys. Have a lovely day. Cheers.
I'll keep hustling.
Subscribe now.